All right, let's get into it. We're picking up where we left off with the whole dinner fiasco at Denise's dinner party, backyard dinner party. And the kids are still there watching these grown women fight and argue. I don't like when Denise was talking about keeping the color commentary down because of the kids. I'm like, they're like, your daughter's father is Charlie Sheen. I don't think these women are going to say anything they haven't heard before. And I'm sure they've heard and seen a lot worse. So that was like, wasn't a big deal to me, but I'm sure like the arguing and screaming, if I was a kid at the party, I'd be like, do you guys want to go inside? Because I'm like over this. But the women are still fighting. Kyle is mad because of like what Dorit was saying, and then Lisa saying, talking about how she wouldn't blindly defend anyone. Lisa was wrong. You don't like. Of course, she's not gonna like choose you over her sister, and she has actually in the past, like when damn, what's her name? When Kim was wrong. She has stuck up for you, Lisa. So you're being ridiculous. She's being dramatic and she's a liar because Kim and Kyle have gone like at it for like seasons because of Lisa, because of Brandy, because of Lisa, and it's like a mess. So for Lisa to say that is nonsense because Kyle has stuck up for her before. And I don't really like Kyle, but Lisa was wrong. And she has like blindly defended people before. She's blindly defended Dorit. Did you forget that? Like when Dorit was going like head to head with Lisa, she blindly defended Dorit. She blindly defended Dorit when it was against Erika, when Dorit was clearly wrong and was like a snotty snob that whole season. Kyle had her back like blindly because of Lisa, Vanderpump, because that was Lisa's friend. So then they became friends, and she blindly defended her against lisarinna and against Erika. And it pissed me off because I thought like Kyle and Erika were becoming good friends, and then when she kept having Dorit's back against Erika, I was like, okay, we're not friends then, because that's how I would have been if I was Erika. We're not friends. So I'm going like way back, but like that pissed me off. Like I'm still bitter about that. Kyle is shady. But she's crying now, telling Denise to be quiet at her own dinner party. And if I was Denise, I wouldn't be like in my confessional saying this mess. I'd be telling her, like, look, this is my house. Like, you can leave, but calm down. But she's feeling attacked. Sutton is trying to jump in the conversation. Garcelle is just like, girl, speak up. Because you like whispering this to me is not doing anything. So she joins in and tells like Dorit that the reason why like Kyle might be still a little salty over it is because you were the one who said like I have a life, as if like everybody else doesn't have a life. You're so busy, you have a life, and we're not busy and we don't have a life. That's why we showed up on time. And I get that. I mean, that's not the nicest thing to say. And then like Kyle was trying to drag people in as she always does, and Erika even admitted, it was a little sharp to say like everybody has a life. Like we're all busy, we all have things to do. So maybe not the best choice of words, but I get like Dorit felt attacked because Kyle wouldn't let up about her being late. Like get over it. Get over it, Kyle. I'm with Garcelle on this. Like Kyle's being dramatic as she always does. She does not blindly support all of her friends all of the time. You can't. It's not possible. So it's just poor choice of words. She keeps going at it with Lisa. Lisa, let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. Kyle's crying. She's an emotional wreck. She gets up to leave and Teddy runs right after her. I mean, they're just like bosom buddies. They're best friends. It is what it is. Dorit's jealous, and that's what it is. And I understand that because her and Kyle used to be close. It used to be like her, Kyle, and Vanderpump. And then like Teddy came and it was more like her and Dorit. And then, Kyle and Dorit. And now it's like Kyle and Teddy. So Dorit feels on the outs. She used to be on the in, but she feels on the outs and she's jealous. And I wish she would just admit that. Maybe like her and Kyle could like work out whatever their like issue is, but like she won't admit it. And then Kyle's like won't admit that she like well, okay, the blindly supporting thing, she does do that with Teddy. And I feel like if she would just admit that, and then Dorit would just admit that she was jealous, maybe they could work through this. Because it's like a hot ass mess, and this dinner party is going to crap. So the women are left at the table. And then Sutton, with her like Southern hospitality, was like, well, they should have at least said thank you or bye. And Denise was like, I don't care. And in her confessional, she's like, Kyle always has to be the center of attention, which she does. And then Kyle off with Teddy on their own, she's like shading Denise for even jumping into the conversation, even though it was at her house. Like, why wouldn't she involve herself in the conversation? She calls her a ragamuffin. And I'm like, okay, so I feel like this needs, like, we are seeing like the real Kyle. Kyle is a shady person, and she has been for a long time. I liked Kyle her first season. I really did. I felt like, gosh, what's her name? I felt like Camille was a horrid, like a horrible mess, and I would not have liked to have dealt with her. So I understand, like, Kyle. I liked her during that season, and then, I don't know, when did Brandy come in? Like maybe second or third season, but Kyle and Kim were horrible to Brandy. Their first interaction, I felt like they were nasty and snobbish and rude. And then after that, I was done with Kyle. I feel like she's like a nasty person, and she hides it so well, trying to be like, oh, I'm a friend to everyone and blah, blah, blah. But then you see, like, she's talking shady mess about people behind their backs. She's in all of the drama just as much as anyone else. And like, I haven't trusted Kyle like ever since then. I was like, oh, you're showing your true colors. And I feel like she's doing that now by calling Denise a ragamuffin, and I feel like it's unnecessary, and she's being rude and nasty. But I mean, Denise will see when she watches this back. So Kyle leaves, or she's like lingering in the parking in the like driveway or something, and Teddy and Edwin come back to the table. I would have left too. Like, what is the point of like Edwin hanging out? It doesn't seem like any other guys are there now that Mauricio's gone, but he's married to her, so. And Teddy's coming to Kyle's defense, talking about how like everybody should have responded. Lisa's like, what should we have done? I mean, everybody has something to say to her, so like, how can we not speak? And the rules to Teddy is we should talk amongst ourselves and let that person recover, because it's a lot ganging up on people. And I'm like, oh, like you guys ganged up on Lisavanderpump while she was like hurting and actually grieving over the loss of a family member. You guys all ganged up on her. That was okay, but we can't gang up on Kyle, and because she's so emotional right now. From what? Why is she being so emotional? Okay, because of what Lisa said about Kyle's sister. It wasn't that bad for her to break down like this, and she can get it too. Like, why should we back off of Kyle? All of y'all can get it. Like, you guys want to gang up on people. It's okay to gang up on Lisavanderpump, but y'all can't gang up on anybody else. And you guys ganged up on Erika last season in Provence. You all ganged up on her and made her feel like crap. So, whatever, Teddy. So now Lisa and Teddy are going at it. Going back and forth, telling each other what they should have done. And Teddy's like, you just back off the person, leave them alone. Lisa's like, no, I was telling her my real feelings. Sutton was like, well, you brought up family. That's not cool. Teddy agreed. And Lisa was like, well, that's my truth. My issue with Kyle has been with her family. So that's my truth. And now she's getting frustrated, and she's like, stop trying to fix it and stop trying to like being the mediator. And Teddy was like, well, actually, that's your thing. You ask all the questions. You want to be involved, which is true. I mean, but that's why I feel like Lisarinna is like the head bitch in charge right now, and and Kyle's not, because Kyle can't handle the heat and Lisa can. She'll go toe to toe, and she'll ask those questions that people don't want to respond to. She'll get dirty, and Kyle can't handle it, and that's why Lisarinna is running the show and Kyle is not. Kyle thought, like, everybody was talking about how, like, Kyle was going to be in charge and be the lead of the show this season, but that did not happen because she can't handle it. She really can't. And Lisa can. She's been ready for it. And I think even when she, like, said that, like, yeah, Kyle's, like, the new leading lady, she was lying because she knew it was going to be her. Because she knew it was going to be her. And I think it's funny that Lisa got called out because it was the truth. But she's doing her job, and that's what it is. We wouldn't have this drama. We wouldn't be watching if Lisarinna wasn't involved in being a shady mess. But that's her job, and that's why she's the leading lady. And then Lisa in her confessional says Kyle's a big girl. She's 50, and I was like, damn, she's 50? I did not know that. She does look good for 50. Everyone's leaving. Everyone's finally over this dinner party. They're leaving. Kyle and Mauricio in the car talking about how bad it was, and Kyle saying, I didn't even do anything, so I don't know what the problem was. Well, Dorit didn't do anything either, and you saw fit to, like, attack her over showing up late, so it is what it is. So we have a quick little scene with Lisa. She's going to see her daughter's photo shoot for their new clothing line. I see that Delilah is repping the Lisarinna lips. Like, where did they come from? Because they were not there before. And we saw a flashback and she had normal lips. They're not like that anymore. But anyways, they're doing their own thing. They got a clothing line. Lisa, like, loves it, and she's finally, like, owning that she's the momager and hovering and making sure those girls make that money. She tries on one of the outfits, and they're like, oh, she looks so good, we should do a little quick photo shoot. And she's like, oh, really? Do you want me to? Girl, stop playing. That's the reason why you put on that outfit, because you knew they were going to photograph you, and she wanted to act a hot mess and show off. And while they're doing the little photo shoot, one of the guys working there is like, that's your mom? And she's like, yeah. Amelia's like, yeah, that's my mom. That's my mom. But I feel like they're used to it by now. Like, they were raised by her. They know how she is. So it is what it is. I mean, at least she's, like, making the money. So you can't be too mad at that. Quick note. Denise and Erica are out to lunch. And they go to a spot. Well, lunch or coffee. I don't know. But they're ordering coffee. And he asks... the server asks, like, what kind of milk they want. And then Erica throws some shade at us vegans who don't consume dairy milk. Girl, get over it. If I want oat milk in my coffee, I'm going to drink oat milk in my coffee. Get over it. Just like you want to drink dairy milk in your coffee, that nasty stuff, you can drink it in yours. Let it go. I had to say something because I got on my nerves. So anyways, moving on. So Denise brings up the commentary at the dinner party again with Erica, and it's like, oh my gosh, get over it. Your kids grow up in Hollywood. Like, Malibu, whatever, but they, like, know celebrities. You're a celebrity. Their father is Charlie Sheen. His hot mess of a life has been broadcasted all over Hollywood. And all over mainstream, people know about him. And I'm sure, like, your kids' friends have some messy-ass parents, too. Let it go. And they even showed, like, her talking to her daughter. Her daughter was like, it wasn't that big of a deal. We laughed at it. They've heard worse. They've heard way worse. And it's whatever. And, like, I get that you want to have, like, something different going on in your house. But then don't invite the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to your dinner party with your kids there. Like, what were you thinking? That's on you, girl. Like, she's getting on my nerves. Okay, so there are, like, cappuccinos and lattes just came, and I miss caramel cappuccinos. Me and one of my good friends used to order them when we lived in New York. And we had, like, our favorite cafe, which is no longer there. Rest in peace, cafe. I can't even remember the name of the cafe. That's terrible. But it was our favorite cafe. And we always would get, like, caramel cappuccinos there. And they were delicious. And they were the best. And they were so good. And I miss having caramel cappuccinos. I'm going to have to find a spot here once everything opens back up and get myself one. Sit down in the spot and get myself one. Denise and Erica start talking about Kyle again, that whole mess, and I don't know, like Erica's coming to Kyle's defense. She's her friend and just saying that she has a lot going on, but then Denise in her confessional is like, girl, like I have lots of stuff going on too. And it's true, like they all do. They're all busy. Everyone's busy and has like work to do and bills to pay and stress. So, and it doesn't give Kyle the right to act like she acts. She's a jerk. She's being a jerk. And I hate that. Like, I hate when, like, I mean, people respond differently to stress, but I feel like that still doesn't give you a right to like attack other people because you're going through a lot. Unless you're on your period, then I feel for you because then you just really have no control. So I feel like that's the only exception. And Kyle was not on her period. She's being a jerk. So Garcelle's 12-year-old twins are celebrating their birthday. They do not look 12, but I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been 12, so maybe I don't know what like 12-year-olds look like, but they're tall. And I guess because both of their parents are tall, they look older. But they're celebrating, they're doing the co-parenting thing, they're having a chill little family party, and I guess some friends are coming over. This kind of reminds me of like Real Housewives of New Jersey when everybody was complaining about Jackie's party because she didn't have like this big lavish party and it was just an at-home thing. Although I do feel like Garcelle's party looks more fun than Jackie's party. And I was on Jackie's side. Like, you can have whatever party you want for your kids. It's your kids. Everybody else can, like, mind their own business and don't come. But I do feel like Garcelle stuffed it up just, like, a little bit and stuff. I mean, she didn't have, like, animals and all that mess. But, like, I don't know. It was inside and there was donuts. And even though she got mad at them for eating the donuts, I'm eating a donut on my birthday. I don't care. But then like the dad, he snuck one in too. So I probably would have too. Those donuts looked good, even though I'm sure they weren't vegan. So I probably wouldn't have ate them. But or eaten them. But yeah, they're having a cute little fun party. Um Leave people alone about their kids' parties and not being all super lavish and stuff and just let it go. They're having a good time and that's all that matters. But I do feel like Jackie could step it up like a little bit. She's rich, who cares? So we're at Erica's event. What is the event for again? Like, I don't know. Clearly I haven't been paying attention. I don't remember what this event is for, but Denise is the first one there, and the space looks really nice. Dorit comes in with this long ass ponytail, like down to her feet. And she said she had to have 4 Advil from it because of it. She better not be getting into like any fights. Like, you have to be like super rich and around women who don't fight to risk having that long of a ponytail, because anybody could like snatch it up. And what could you do? Like, what could you do? Especially if it's on there, like, really good. They just snatch it up and fling you around. So I think she picked the right group to wear this around because I don't see anyone snatch a ponytail. But if she was on any other franchise, I would not feel safe with that long-ass ponytail on my head. Kyle's coming in. She's still got this attitude, so we'll see how this goes. Another event ruined, probably. Okay, so I might have been wrong because Kyle immediately walks over to the ponytail, gives it a little tug, and Dorit's like, wait a minute. So they like stop, but she might have to watch it with these ladies with that ponytail. But then they start talking about their kids and stuff, and when they had to tell them about sex. And I guess Denise like is really trying to hold on to this like everything is floating in air and nothing's wrong in the world and women just get pregnant by miracles. And it's like, woman, like what? Like, Denise, I'm surprised because last season she did not seem like this at all, and now she seems very much like she's trying to be like, I don't know, this very protective. And I mean, maybe she's overcompensating because Charlie Sheen is such a hot mess. And I feel like probably that's why she's like this, because she really wants to protect her kids. And she feels like by like putting off these airs as if she's like what Erika said, June Cleaver, that it's gonna make up for the fact that their dad's a hot ass mess. But it's weird and I don't get it. So Lisa and her mom, Lois, the fun Lois, they walk in. Kyle is obviously affected and is trying to like avoid her by going up to Teddy and trying to pretend to fix her hair. So Lisa's like, well, let me handle this. She pulls Kyle aside and apologizes for using that example as far as like her sister, which she should, because it's like, just let it go. I feel like she did that because she wanted to start drama. Yes, that might have been her truth, but Lisa knows what she's doing. And so for her to immediately apologize, I shouldn't have used that example. We have nothing going on between us, so I shouldn't, like, that nothing was wrong with us, so I shouldn't have brought that up. Exactly, so nothing was wrong with you two, but you brought it up because you wanted to be a part of the drama. So Lisa knows what she's doing. So, like, they're fine now, but Kyle's mad at Dorit still because she feels like she was blindly defending her last season against Lisavanderpump, which is true. Like, she was all on Dorit's side for no reason and, like, ripping apart her friendship with Lisa while Lisa was being, like, ripped apart and devastated over the loss of her brother. Like, that season was a mess. Like, I know that Lisa Vanderpump does some shady stuff. I've been watching since season 1, and Lisa Vanderpump is no angel, and she does a lot of shady stuff, but last season was just not the season for them to attack her the way they did and blindly defend Dorit when Dorit was wrong. Dorit was wrong. And they did defend her, and I feel like it's because they wanted to get Lisa off the show. It worked, but now, like, nobody else wants to take, like, the beating like Vanderpump did, but like, somebody's gonna get it because this is the way Real Housewives of Beverly Hills play. Like, they find one person and attack, and they do it, like, all season, and it hasn't been so much like this season, but I feel like Kyle's getting it, and she deserves it. Goodbye, Kyle. So, Dorit and Denise and Erika are sitting and having a chat. They randomly bring up the fact, because they want to go to Italy, and then they bring up the fact that Dorit is investing in a restaurant. Bucco, I don't know. I'm about to slaughter it. I already did. So, I don't know. She's investing in a new restaurant, Italian-style restaurant. And then the shady editors at Bravo do a flash of her speaking to the investor. And then Dorit's like, so I have an unlimited budget? And the dude's like, no, I don't want you bankrupting me. It's just like, the shade of it all. And she just sat there like, what do you say? And I wanted to know what was the conversation like after that? Like, I don't want you bankrupting me. Like, damn. And then they show like her talking to Garcelle, and Garcelle's asking, like, what any one of us would be wondering, like, are your, like, investors, like, worried about, like, joining in on another venture with you, especially after all of the mess that's going on, like, within the tabloids and the courtrooms and you having these lawsuits? And she's saying, like, no, they never run across a person who doesn't want to invest with them. And I feel like that's a problem, especially for those people. Like, if you see, like, that these people are constantly in lawsuits and having money issues, why do you keep investing? Like, why do people keep investing in them? But I think it's like when you're rich, you can get away with a lot of things, and you just always find a way to find investors. So, like, no matter what troubles you have, like, people trust you because you've been successful before, or you appear to be successful before. So Kyle randomly brings up the fact that she wants to have like a little celebration after she's like done with shooting, because she's done with shooting the movie and stuff, and she wants to have the girls over to a house in Santa Barbara for like an overnight thing, which is probably like a house that Mauricio is trying to sell or get eyes on, because I feel like they're like being sneaky with this kind of stuff, because there was even reports on the Real Housewives of New York about like Ramona having that event or having that party at that guy's house because he was trying to sell it and get eyes on it. I feel like Mauricio might be doing the same thing with this house, and that's why she's inviting everyone over. But she still hasn't apologized to Denise for acting a hot ass mess at her parties. So, and I love how she just glossed over it and didn't acknowledge Denise and still hasn't apologized. And Denise is like, what does she want, a medal? Like, I shoot 10 episodes a week. You shot a movie and now you're done. Like, get over it. And I don't want to negate anyone's like work. Working on a movie is just as hard and can be long months, even if you have like a small role. And shooting not reality. A soap opera can be just as long, and the lines that they have to remember, like they're learning pages and pages of lines every day, and that's just as much work as well. So like I feel like if Kyle wants to celebrate being done with her movie, that's fine. It's not like she has like much of a storyline, so I feel like she's throwing these parties to give herself something to do. So just let her have it. So they're at Lisa's daughter's party for their clothing line launch. They start walking in. Sutton's like freaking out. And she's like, I don't know. I don't want to go in. I think I'm going to flip out. And then Dorit's just like, okay, calm down. Like, but if you're like, now's not the time to do that. And plus, like, you're right. If you're going to flip out at somebody else's party and their launch for their clothing line, then don't come. Like, leave. Like, why will you go in mad and ready to, like, start drama? Unless you're a jerk, which we know Sutton is. But they walk in. The party looks nice. The girls are having a good time. They're celebrating. It's their clothing line. Lisa's super excited for them. And everyone congratulates them. And then, like, Sutton is like, oh, okay. So Lisa partnered with this dude named the Fat Jewish. He's like this celebrity, and they partnered together on this rosé. So I guess Sutton was like, oh, so this is not the person I was thinking about. So he's not here. And she breathes like a sigh of relief. So I guess apparently Lisa's hairstylist did some app with Sutton and it didn't work out. And they had like a falling out. And Sutton thought that he was going to be there. And that's why she was freaking out. So like, okay, Sutton. I mean, like, even if he was there, like, that's Lisa's hairstylist. I mean, it's obviously her friend. Maybe she doesn't know about the drama that happened with you two. So, like, if he was there, he was going to be there. What would you have done? Like, caused a scene at, like, her daughter's event? That's not very, like, Southern ladylike, right? So, like, calm down. So, thankfully, he wasn't there, because I don't think I would have wanted to see that, and they're going to have enough drama on their own with these ladies. So, like, I hope that people can be calm for the party, because I wouldn't want to do that to somebody's child's party. Like, they're not kids, but they're still someone's child's party. I wouldn't want to ruin that. So just wait. So I hope, like, the drama just settles and waits until, like, at least the dinner when they're not there anymore, because that's annoying and childish and ridiculous. So Lisa's doting on her daughters with everyone. Lois and Denise and Kyle are standing at a table, and it's awkward because Kyle still hasn't apologized. And then finally she gives some half-ass apology about how she's sorry she left, but she felt like she wasn't having a good time. And it's like, blah, 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 Kyle. Like, and I'm so on Denise's side. Like, Kyle just wants to get her point across and wants everybody to see how she's feeling, but she doesn't care how she treats other people. And, yeah, she's gross. She's being so gross, and I wish she would see that, but she clearly doesn't because she's so in it. So they're at dinner, and they're all getting drinks, and Erika decides to get a tequila shot to take the edge off of the room. And then Sutton, I think it's like Sutton and Lois are like, is there an edge? And it's like, yeah, it's clearly obvious there's an edge, and we're about to get into it, so here we go. And we're in it. Dorit is like, so I guess after, like, Sutton says, is there an edge? Dorit's like, well, actually, like, I don't understand why you were talking about freaking out, how you were gonna flip out and cause a scene. And Sutton was like, well, I thought that, like, our mutual friend, me and Lisa's mutual friend, was gonna be there. And Lisa was like, oh, okay, well, why didn't you tell me, like, that's how you felt? And she was like, well, I didn't want to, like, cause drama, even though she was gonna cause drama if he was there. And Lisa, and I feel like I was right. Like, Lisa doesn't really know what went on with them. She's like, he's my friend and we do business together and we keep it separate. So I don't know what business y'all are doing, but it doesn't involve me. So I'm out of it. And so Sutton was like, yeah, he wasn't there, and there's just some bad blood, but it worked out. But Dorit won't let it go. And so she's saying, like, I just don't understand your reaction, talking about you were gonna flip out and like cause a scene. And Sutton's like, well, I didn't really say it like that. But then they run it back, and she did. She was freaking out, and it was like unnecessary. And Lisa said what I would have said, like, well, I'm glad you didn't say it to me because I would have kicked you out because this is my daughter's event. Like, what do you mean you're gonna freak out like at my daughter's event? You need to take your ass home then. You're not gonna cause a scene at my daughter's event. It's like different if it's my event, we can handle it. But if you're gonna like try to ruin something at my daughter's event, I would have kicked your ass out. And I totally agree. So now Sutton's like, well, I've never seen this aggressive side of Lisa before. Well, yeah, you've never threatened to do something that would ruin her daughter's event. Like, those are her children. Like, she's gonna protect them and protect any like business or endeavors that they're working on from someone who's gonna act a hot ass mess, which a lot of you ladies do, Lisa including herself. She's acted a mess at people's events, but nothing like at like someone's daughter's event. So I was on Lisa's side. So Sutton, whatever. Shady. The editors of Bravo are shady. So Sutton's is crying right now and saying, like, calling Dorit out and saying, like, you're not being nice, you're being mean, I would never do that. And Lisa was like, well, I hope you wouldn't. And she's acting like, how dare they say I would ruin the event? But you were going to Dorit and talking about how I'm gonna freak out, I'm gonna flip out, and acting crazy because you thought this person was gonna be there and that you were gonna flip out. So what does that mean then? That you were just gonna like cry? So then, like, who cares? Like, who cares? And of course, Kyle runs to Sutton's defense. This is what I think Kyle does when she's like blindly following Sutton, because she does this with the new people. She did it with Dorit. She like was blindly sticking up for her against Lisarinna and against Erika. And then like when Teddi came in, she blindly supported Teddi against like Dorit and against everybody else, against Erika as well. And now that Sutton's here, she's like running to, you don't even know this woman. You've known Dorit a lot longer. You guys were actually friends. You barely know Sutton. You barely like, and you know Lisa longer as well. And now she's running to her defense and acting like, oh, Sutton would never do that. You don't know her. She's saying like, Sutton, I highly doubt Sutton would throw drinks. We'll leave that to Rinna. And then the shady editors show the clip of Lisa throwing down the glass and acting a hot ass mess. It's classic. It's always gonna be classic. But I just like Kyle, I can't stand her. Like, why is she running to Sutton's defense? You don't know this woman. Support your friend Dorit. And I would believe Dorit if she was telling me that this woman was acting a little bizarre out of nowhere and instead of running to her defense. But it's because you and Dorit aren't really friends. And now you want like Sutton on your side to back you up against Dorit in like later on or in the future. So I see your game, Kyle. I see your game. Yo, I do not like Dorito, and I am usually not on her side, but I am on her side with this. Sutton is being ridiculous and trying to be shady in her confessional about Dorit's business. Dorit didn't even bring up your business. She brought up the fact that you were having an irrational reaction to we didn't even know what at the time, and she was like, what is this woman going to do at this event? She did not bring up your business. Nobody knew about your business until now. So shut up, Sutton. And then, Kyle keeps jumping in to defend her, to squash it, and just like leave it alone. She wasn't trying to be negative and blah blah blah. And Dorit was like, yeah, but like I had a conversation with her and she's not being honest about it. And you're the one, Kyle, who wants everybody to be honest, calling everybody fake, but now you're just gonna defend this woman who's not being honest. So like either stand for something, Kyle, or shut up. Kyle. I don't think she realizes how much of a hypocrite she's being. I'm talking about the glam. She shades Denise for like Like, you're just down-earth person. She wanted to call her a ragamuffin to her face, but she had to, like, stop herself. And now all of a sudden you have glam, and now all of a sudden you have an ice sculpture. And Denise is like, bitch, like, I've been in this industry for a long-ass time. Like, I have money. It's okay. Like, I can do glam. And they showed, like, a flashback of Lisa riding a camel at one of the kids' party. She's like, I can have a fancy party and I can have a regular ass party if I want to. I can do glam and I can be down to earth with no makeup. I can do what I want. And then Denise brings out, I've been on every cover of the magazine that you can ever think of, Kyle. Like, who are you? Like, who are you? Like, I've been in this industry a long ass time. I didn't just start off as a kid and then I'm back at it again. She's like, I've been working for a long ass time. And it was like everything I needed to hear because Kyle is getting on my last nerve. And thank you, Dorit, for bringing up the fact that, like, Teddi was like Miss Down to Earth. And then the very next year, she's glam. She's following Kyle around, like, wearing the same things, like, having Kyle dress her. And now she has all this glam all the time. It's just like double standards. Like, Kyle's a hypocrite. I can't stand her. Her and Denise are going at it. It's just like... And nobody's stopping Kyle. I don't know why they're afraid of her. She's like this little mini bully. Just kick her. Don't kick her. No violence. Ugh, I'm over Kyle. Lois tries to give some sound advice, talking about, like, you're all gonna look back on this and think it was crazy, and then you wake up and you're 81. And Lisa's like, you're 91. She's like, I'm trying not to be fake. I gotta let her know. She's 91. Like, Lois. They all start cracking up. And everybody's laughing. And it's kind of like a light note, except for Denise and Kyle. Because Denise is not done with Kyle. And I don't blame her. Kyle... I think she might have picked the wrong one. Because I don't think Denise is as much of a pushover as everybody thinks she is. So... we're going to see in the next episode, we finally get the astrologist or the psychic in the next episode. So we're going to see all of that go down because every time a psychic comes to these shows, it's always a mess and we look forward to it. So I will be back to review that. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And ring that bell if you want to be notified whenever I release a new video. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!